Welcome to the A&A Coffeehouse podcast. You may have noticed that the world is a crazy place, and is sometimes hard to keep up with. Here we have our hosts, Adam Kincaid and Anthony DeFranco, to make sense of it all. This week we'll be discussing the recent elections in Canada, Hillary Clinton's Benghazi hearing, and the continuing American Civil War.
So grab that cup of coffee and tune in.
Hi, I'm Adam Kincaid. I'm here sitting across the table from Anthony DeFranco.
Buongiorno.
Also at the table with us is our special guest host. He's going to be here with us for a couple months. You'll be hearing his voice for a while now. That's Alvaro Gutierrez Valladares. And we've also got our perpetual editor, Ariel Ayers. Say hello, people.
Hello, people.
Hello, people.
Alright.
Why do you have to say it like that?
It sounded cool.
He really like sold my vote. I think he oversold it, and I just felt awkward about emitting it now to the ears. Everyone is really disappointed right now at home,
or really pleased.
Yes, or extremely pleased.
Oh my God, he wins.
These things happen, you know. People get really excited listening to a podcast.
Well, right now we're all excited because of the return of Anthony DeFranco from his European adventure. How was your trip?
It was great. Saw a lot of places.
Where did you go?
Edinburgh, Scotland, London, Cardiff, and Paris, France.
Now tell us, why was Britain so terrible?
Britain wasn't terrible. Britain was awesome.
No, sorry.
You're not answering my question. I didn't ask if it was terrible. I asked why it was terrible.
As an empire or as a tourist destination?
Yeah.
Either.
Well, I can't think of anything terrible about being a tourist destination because everyone was all nice and not mean there. It's not like Paris.
Well, Paris was ridiculously nice to us. We had one guy who kept offering to take the underage girls into his car and drive them home.
That's creepy. That's not nice. That's creepy.
I don't know. That was
I had the one girl at the bar who kept trying to take me into the back room for 5 minutes of sex.
Only for 5 minutes?
That's what
This is
Aristotle said.
not a children's show. Please do turn it down if there are children in the room.
Yes, it's not safe at all for the kids, okay? So tell them to leave.
Thank you, Kermit.
Oh, but no, this is my knockoff Kermit voice because I can do an actual Kermit voice or I get sued. So that's why I'm doing kind of a knockoff version of Kermit.
Yeah, it's kind of like a southern Kermit.
Yes.
The show is largely okay for kids.
Usually.
Wait, Southern Kermit? You took down my flag! What the hell?
Well, we'll get to that, won't we? But for now, let's go to our first topic.
Alright, topic number one, we're going to be talking about Canada. Canada just had an election. Has been led by the Conservative Party. Lots of people have expressed an opinion that it was going to stay that way. That there was not much chance of the Liberal Party taking over. And it just happened.
So all of a sudden it was like, the Canadians were like, yay, yay, Liberals, yay, after that.
Well, keep in mind, after these 10 years, nearly 10 years of conservative government, everyone was saying that the entire country has shifted towards the right. The balance of power is now centered on the oil-producing fields of Canada, which are strongly conservative. And suddenly, from a third-place position, the Liberal Party jumps up, just gaining a massive amount of seats, more than it did in the last elections, just to a very resounding victory.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Paris, I was watching like BBC, and I believe they were interviewing like the three candidates who are running for PM, and you can tell definitely, there's three, so I don't know if one was like the liberal, one was the conservative, and then one was the liberal, one was the moderate, and one was the conservative. it's kind of like it's kind of confusing. I'm not into Canadian politics, so
perhaps to clarify, we should say
Uh-huh.
what the parties are. You have the NDP, the New Democratic Party,
Uh-huh.
or the furthest left, if you will.
Oh, okay.
Then you have the Liberal Party, which is centre left, and then you have the Conservatives.
Oh, but so the center left people won.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
The Liberal Party has been
Yeah.
taking the abandoned centre in Canada.
Oh, okay.
The NDP has been going further and further left.
Uh-huh.
The Conservatives
The
have been
NDP
feeling very
is-
comfortable.
The NDP is working with labor unions largely. They're largely support the labor unions. They're often considered to be like a third party.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool that the moderates actually won, moderate liberals. I like moderates. I like people who are willing to work together, across the aisle. The thing is, the U.S. government needs more moderates. People are willing to work together to get things done. Right now, you got the far right making things worse, and then sometimes you got the far left making things worse, and they're all playing.
Now, some people express concerns because part of the electoral promises to run a deficit for Canada for the next few years. And well, people are saying, well, this is not sustainable. How are you going to actually purposely run up debt? Because that's what a deficit does. It runs up debt. But that is what Canada's voted for after 10 years of austerity. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh,
But
yeah,
again, the
austerity.
candidates are running for the Conservative Party was the current Prime Minister, Stephen Harper.
Still acting Prime Minister.
Yes, he's been there since 2003, I believe.
Okay.
He won in 2003. He's been governing since 2006. And against him in the Liberal Party was Justin Trudeau. And Justin Trudeau, Liberal Party candidate, just won.
Cool. Now, do you guys happen to know, this is kind of off topic, but you remember that one mayor in Canada who was drunk all the time?
The guy who was doing heroin?
Yeah, doing heroin. Yeah, is he still around, or did he get voted out?
Robert Ford,
Yeah.
I believe his name was. No, I don't know. I don't think he's around anymore.
Isn't Robert Ford the guy who killed Jesse James? The assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Robert Ford the guy who killed Jesse James.
So
It's not the
he
same.
went
No,
to.
it's
I
not the same
know.
Robert Ford for sure.
Unless he had a time machine and he went back in time after getting high or something and killed Jesse James.
Maybe
It's not. We have a pretty good autobiography from the actual Robert Ford back in the day.
Oh, wow.
We know where he was and when he was.
Oh, okay. Was he on the toilet at the time?
Was he on the toilet and he killed Jesse James?
Yeah.
No, he was not. Jesse James was hanging up a painting.
Oh,
And
wow.
Ford shot him back with him.
Oh, wow.
Well, his head, not a head.
It could have been a random head.
Back to Stephen Harper and Justin Trudeau.
Yes.
Justin Trudeau seems to come from a very long family. Well, very long family. He has two people in his family who have been politicians. His maternal grandfather was a cabinet minister, and his own father was Prime Minister of Canada in the 1960s. In fact, a very important Prime Minister of Canada, because he made French an official religion, an official language.
made French into an official religion.
Made French into official language and enacted laws. Because this is, by the way, the closest thing Canada has to in War of Independence. He requested permission from the English Parliament to reform the Constitution, so that they do not need to request permission from the British Parliament to enact laws. It's very strange.
Wow.
So he purged the influence of the British Parliament in the Canadian political system. So
then pretty much while the U.S. had to fight and everything and lose lives to get its freedom, the Canadians just asked and they were like, okay, yes.
it shows you
wow.
how far Canadian politeness can get you.
Wow, that is cool.
One of the weird things about Canada that we're saying a lot right now is we've been talking about the American election cycle for months already. And we still have over a year to go.
Oh yeah, Canada's short, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Canada,
this has been the longest one in its history.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was 11 weeks. It was 11 weeks, and everyone's talking about how ridiculously long it was.
They've been complaining about this grueling campaign, and this was a calculated political move by the Conservatives. They said, we have a lot more money than both Liberals and NDP, So we will outspend them. We will outlast them. This will be a marathon election. And by the end, we will just dominate.
And action.
The political field.
Yeah. So.
Segue!
I really don't know what you're talking about at this point.
It's so good. No, I said they will they will outspend them, they will outlast them, and then by the end they will dominate the political field. And that's where you come in, and all this gets erased.
Is it my fault things keep running in the background? I can't close it all. It's like virus programs.
Well, let's just keep going.
So, the political field. Yes. The way that it works in Canada is that when Parliament is sitting, you can't have an election in Canada. So they need to dissolve Parliament, basically, for an election. And the Prime Minister gets to dissolve it, decide when. He doesn't dissolve it. He gets to decide when the Governor General dissolves it. But the Prime Minister picks, right?
Yes, and this is similar to, well, basically every parliamentary system, because in parliamentary systems, the people do not elect the president or the prime minister. It is the parliament that elects the prime minister. So the parliament is dissolved because the people are now going to elect a new parliament, which will then proceed to elect a new prime minister according to the majorities they have in parliament.
That's okay. So they scheduled an election. They said, okay, this election is going to happen on this date in 2015. Then Stephen Harper, like Alvaro was just saying, wanted extra time in advance to spend a bunch of money and break the bank of the Liberals. So he disbanded Parliament way in advance, 11 weeks in advance.
Oh, wow.
Of the actual election date.
Wow. That's crazy.
So they could begin the election cycle 11 weeks early. So they can 11 weeks around.
Wow. That's crazy. Wait, backfired on him.
How many weeks are there left for the American election?
A lot.
Over 54.
Yeah, until at least maybe 54.
Until about 60.
And,
so we're talking about slightly different political systems, aren't we?
Yes. Every time everyone says Canada, you know, I don't mean anything against the Canadian people, but I keep thinking of the South Park version of Canadians. You know, Canada, and then they're like, "Hello, I am Canadian." Oh, hello.
They are an actual country with their own views and.
Yes, true.
Yes.
This part will be cut out.
Why do you think they won? Why do you think the Liberals won when they hadn't for so long? People thought it was basically impossible.
It's because people were pissed off about austerity measures. They were tired of them, and they want free stuff. No, I want free stuff.
It's been 10 years of conservative government in a sociologically quite liberal country. It's actually a lot of people have been asking themselves why Harper has been winning so well. He was a very savvy politician. He's been very capable at destroying, just dynamiting all of the leaders of the strong opposition party, the Liberal Party. But recent scandals, recent mismanagement of events have put him in a bad light. He used to be looked at as the unlikable but generally respectable candidate. They kept saying, all the polls said, yeah, Justin Trudeau's the guy I would like to have a beer with. But if I need someone to negotiate a contract, I'm going to get Stephen Harper. And that view of him has been steadily eroding.
Well, apparently also a lot of people have gotten very, very angry at Stephen Harper lately because he's been running an active ad campaign anti-Islam. A very hardcore anti-Islam, anti-Islam, trying to promote the fear of Islam. And this has actually turned a lot of people away from him, which is one of the things that the Liberal Party has advertised, saying if you support Muslims, if you want to help them out, if you believe in racial sensitivity, what they're supposed to be all about, anything like that, religious sensitivity in this case, but if you believe in any of that, show people that it's not okay to do that, and vote him out.
Topic number two. Benghazi! Benghazi! Okay, topic number two, Benghazi.
I've talked to several people about this. Everyone seems to have an opinion on Benghazi. Benghazi was Hillary's fault. Benghazi was no one's fault. We just stopped talking about Benghazi. No one seems to know what the fuck Benghazi is.
Not
I've
anymore.
asked several people about it, and they go, "Yeah, I'm not quite sure on the details. Wasn't that her email scandal? Isn't that what?" Tony, you're the expert. Tell us what Benghazi is.
Okay, so
Other than a city.
September 11th, 2012. Was it 12 or 13?
12.
Okay, September 11th, 2012, U.S. embassy in Libya, Benghazi, was attacked, as well as the CIA annex, which was like quite a bit away. They were attacked too, and I believe four people died, including the four Ambassador Stevens, who was an ambassador there. Chris Stevens. And pretty much he died in the room, the chamber, the safe room,
the
panic room. Yes, he died in the panic room of smoke inhalation. What pretty much happened was this mob of people went over there, started shooting, lighting things up, catching fires and everything. This whole mob. And the Obama administration came up with a cover story about it being only based on a videotape. And then, of course, the CIA came out and said, no, it wasn't about the videotape. It was because of some other reason. I forgot what they said. Why the main incident was.
Was it actually carefully planned and terrorist attack?
Yeah, so they pretty much, the CIA went against the Obama administration. And because Hillary Clinton was in charge of the State Department at the time, they want to know why there was no up in security and things like that. This is the Republicans want to know this. So the Republicans were the ones who canceled who took the budget for security over there, and they cut it.
Now, at first, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the main contentions were first that the embassy had actually requested more security because of concerns about things of this nature.
Yeah.
And this was denied. And this is something that the State Department has actually accepted. They said, yes, we did receive these, even though they weren't sustained requests, and we did not pay enough attention. We were not proactive enough.
Yeah.
And then the second contention was this, because of the politically sensitive nature of this, right after the Arab Spring and the enthusiastic welcoming of it by the Obama administration, this happening in Libya where the Arab Spring happened, well, a sudden terrorist attack would tend to give credence to the narrative that the Arab Spring is not such a happy circumstance.
Yeah.
And the fact that Obama refused to call this a terrorist attack for several weeks afterwards, and would talk about the videos being the direct cause of it rather than an actual organized attack, being a huge problem. And from then on, the hearings began, and things have taken off. Yeah,
there was, I think, 11 different committees so far. I could be wrong with the exact number. Oh, 9 committees. Oh, 9 committees, sorry.
And 2, I believe, on 9/11, which has been one of the concerns of the Democrats.
2 on 9/11, I think 2 on the Kennedy assassination, that was it. Well, everything else, yeah.
And there's been almost nothing on the entire Libya thing.
Yeah. And then
policy.
It seems like each committee, most of the committees here actually went to the classified meetings and actually found out what went on, and most of those Republicans were like, okay, we're good, we don't need to go any further. But for some reason, this committee was politically attacking, or trying to politically attack Hillary Clinton, which was really weird. The other Republicans, and the Democrats do love to politically jab each other, but for this committee, which was really weird, it was just weird.
Of course, we need to differentiate from the general Republican Party from the committee itself.
Yeah.
The general Republican Party has, of course, wanted to. McCarthy famously fell into that gap, saying, we have made Hillary fall in the polls thanks to the Benghazi committee. But the Republican leadership within the committee has been really fighting against this, saying, no, we want this to be serious, we want this to be nonpartisan. And the claims about the partisan nature of it have been growing just in the days and weeks before Hillary appeared, which also seems to give a partisan bent to these claims. Yeah. So we need to be cautious about a narrative on both sides.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So.
Why is Hillary Clinton being attacked so much from the other?
Because she's a Democrat and the committee's filled with Republicans. I can presume.
Not just in this case, not just in this hearing, but why for months and months and months has Hillary been attacked by Benghazi?
Because a lot of people are trying to associate Benghazi kind of like the Alamo in like people's mindset. Don't forget the Alamo. Don't forget Benghazi. You know.
Wow. Well, and like a bunch of different Republicans have come out and said now, usually unintentionally,
Benghazi.
all of this Benghazi talk is deliberately meant to bring down Hillary Clinton's poll numbers. It's an attack against Hillary Clinton. They're ignoring what actually happened in Benghazi. They're not caring about actually punishing anyone, actually getting justice for people who died there. It is strictly an attack against Hillary Clinton to bring down her poll numbers. Democrats have been saying that for a long time. Now, several Republicans have come out saying the exact same thing.
Especially that guy who got fired from a Republican aide who got fired. He's the recent popular one who came out and was saying that they were politically going after Hillary instead of finding out what happened in Benghazi.
And what's his name? Who was about to become Speaker of the House?
McCarthy, the one I meant.
Yeah. McCarthy?
Yeah.
Is this from the McCarthy era from the 40s?
Fantastic name.
Yeah. So just remember, if you're in Congress and some guy named McCarthy is going after you.
But he isn't Joseph.
He's the one who was defending you.
Okay.
No, not intentionally. It was accidental.
Accidental defending?
He was bragging about bringing down the ball. He says everyone thought that Hillary was invincible, that nobody could take her on, and look at us now. After this many weeks of Benghazi hearings, we have brought her poll numbers down.
Yes.
And
so accidentally came to Hillary's defense.
Oh, wow. That sucks.
And
for him.
Really disappointed and angered many in his party, some of which are actually serious about making this a serious hearing. Because the fact that there are people who want to take political advantage of this, and of course there are people who want to take political advantage of this. She is the Democratic frontrunner. She's been announced as the person who was going to lead the Democratic Party into the next elections since years ago. But that does not mean that on something as serious as Benghazi,
she should get a free,
particularly when the State Department itself has admitted to mismanagement.
What was it?
A lot of them are upset because her husband is Bill Clinton, who is seen by many as the Democratic version of Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, but Ronald Reagan didn't have interns and cheat on his wife in office.
We know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, well, it's true. I don't know.
And even if he did, it might not have been nearly as big of a deal.
Yeah.
I'm the Teflon president.
Yeah. If he did do anything, he probably doesn't remember. Oh yeah, like the whole giving weapons to Syrian terrorists. Yes. Everyone remembers that.
Yes, the Iran-Contra affair.
And anyways, getting back to Hillary again, like Alvaro was mentioning, that there was correspondence between Hillary and Stevens, right?
I had not mentioned this, but
okay. Well, someone was mentioning it. Maybe it was me in my head imagining Alvaro mentioning it. Sometimes this happens.
You make me sound much more informed than I really am in your head. I am thankful.
There was also an email they were saying on the committee from from Stevens to Hillary, I believe, which he was jokingly saying that he would go and just buy like barricades and stuff like that from like a garage sale from like the old British embassy that was there or something like that. I remember them saying something like that in the committee. I thought that was pretty funny. The Republicans acted as if it was serious. Like if it was like a serious email.
That's a whole bunch of them are also getting upset about one of Clinton's aides, a guy named Huma Abedin, sent her an email asking what kind of milk to buy. And that was brought up like 7 times. Not quite sure why. That seems to be irrelevant to anything. But
and then, do you guys got the name for the guy who the Obama administration didn't give security clearance to, but Hillary was still getting like national security information from the guy?
Oh,
I'm trying to remember his name, but the Republicans kept using that guy too as a thing. You know, the thing is, why is she? You know, I know he worked with the Clintons, right? But the thing is, Obama's your president, and you still, if his administration says some guy isn't cleared, there is an issue. Okay, cut that. Snip, 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 circumcision. Okay.
Begin again.
Yeah, so did you see the hearing? How do you think it went?
I saw clips of it. I didn't see the whole thing. I think it went well for Hillary and the Democrats. While the Republicans softened their political attacks at first, all of a sudden the Democrats turned it around and made it their show.
Oh yeah, Hillary kicked ass.
Yeah, and Hillary was sitting there, and she was very presidential. She did not raise her voice or anything, which was even a surprise to the Republicans.
That's because the last time this happened, she totally lost her temper. The very last time, they kept asking her questions again and again and again, talking about the same things again and again and again. Finally, she snapped. She got mad.
Why does it even matter at this point? What difference does it make if it's that's now become a bumper sticker, and that's really the problem with this. Well, first to answer your question, I think tactically both did very well from a political standpoint. The Republicans knew that this was being framed as a political attack, a political trial, and so they moderated their questions, their tone, and made this very technical on their side. And the Democrats did very well in trying to frame this as a purely political trial, and framing Hillary as a victim instead of a person who should be regarded as having some responsibility in this. As far as the media goes, the media perception, which is also very important in elections, Hillary won. I mean, she is being portrayed as the victim of this Republican conspiracy, thanks to McCarthy's big mouth.
I heard that,
and she, as you say, she was very calm. She was collected. She did not get emotional in this, and that does go in her favor.
Well, and she successfully turned the tables a number of times.
Yeah, but she did it herself. She did not do it herself. She used the rest of the Democrats that were there to turn the tables.
That definitely helped. I think the tables were turned by Hillary. I think she was very clever at how she was reacting, which I'll get to in a second. But what you're saying, yes, absolutely. The Democrats on the panel were the ones getting angry for her. There was definitely anger on the side of the Democrats, and it was never Hillary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was quite probably a concerted effort. This was something that was agreed to.
It was really cool. And then also there was like this Fox News. Also, they were realizing Hillary was winning, so like halfway in, I heard or something like that, they just stopped doing the broadcast.
Yeah, Fox News.
While MSNBC and CNN just kept it going.
Yes.
Yeah.
That happened.
And this is the problem with these things. It becomes a partisan circus, particularly this close to elections.
It is.
Topic number 3.
Topic number 3. So,
3.
There's been
3.
Shit's been hitting the fan down in the deep south.
3
Fan of the
shits.
deep south.
Dun, 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 dun.
A couple months ago, a 21-year-old man in Charleston, South Carolina, shot a number of people to death inside of a church. This made a lot of news, and it was tied to the Confederate flag. After this happened, the entire country was overcome with sadness and a giant uproar over the continued existence of the Confederate flag. As such, a number of states have begun outlawing. Two notable ones being Georgia, which actually happened a little while ago. Georgia began banning the Confederate flag, and most recently, well, not most recently, fairly recently, Virginia. We're going to be talking about Virginia. That's our actual topic.
Virginia.
So, in Virginia. The state.
Not the county?
Not the queen.
Not the king?
Virginia has said that Confederate flag license plates are no longer legal. You have a couple months to turn them in, a couple weeks to turn them in. As of November 17th, they have to be turned in, or it is a crime. If you are caught driving with a Confederate license plate, you can get pulled over and get a ticket.
Oh. Well, can they at least still... Well, can they keep the plates, let's say, if they want to keep them in their house or something?
You're allowed to have a license plate in your house. You can have swastikas in your house if you want.
Okay, I mean, they could still keep it if they want to. I mean, the thing is,
license plate.
Yeah, it could be like a coffee holder kind of thing.
Again, you can have a
Confederate Coffeehouse podcast.
Yes.
You can even have an I Love Hitler coffee holder. That's totally allowed. You cannot have an I Love Hitler license plate.
I love Hitler license plate.
Yes.
Now I'm like imagining like a TV show like I Love Lucy, but I Love Hitler. Thank you. Da 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 da. Sieg Heil. Da da da.
I'm sure that will make you big one day.
Sieg Heil. Himmler, I'm home. Wah! Mein Kopf, mein Fear.
We're already 10 minutes into the thing. We haven't gotten to the topic.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I invited Ethel and Fred over.
Cut it all. Let's just keep going.
Okay.
So, a lot of these people. Okay, no. You guys just put me all off. So, one of these groups that has a lot of these license plates is called the Stonewall Camp of the Sons of the Confederate Veterans. Actually, the Sons of the Confederate Veterans is the group we're talking about. 1,600 people in this group have Confederate license plates. 1,600.
Wow.
They were told, you have to turn these in right now. It's illegal. Give them back.
Oh.
You know how many complied? 187. The rest of them all sent in papers saying, no thank you, or things like that.
Nuance!
That's what the DMV said. The DMV said that most of them sent in letters saying, no thank you.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. A lot of them are saying that they're going to refuse. One of the guys who everyone seems to be interviewing, I have 4 sites opened up on my computer right now, every single one of which is just interviewing this one man.
Wow.
So I'm not quite sure if he's the only person in Virginia willing to talk to the media. His name's Kevin Collier. He's the one who leads the Stonewall Camp of the Sons of Confederate Victims.
Victims?
Poor Confederates.
Confederate veterans.
Victims of the War of Northern Aggression.
So Virginia banned these. Virginia said you could turn in. Almost no one did. People are saying, hey, we're not going to. What's going to happen with that? Who knows? Are they allowed to do that? Can they say, hey, we're not going to comply?
The thing is, though,
We'll find out.
a license plate, don't you own the plate that's on your car?
No, the Department of Motor Vehicles does.
Oh, okay. But I mean, I know they own the serial number and things like that.
That's why you have to pay for custom plates.
Yeah, I mean, if you bought the custom plates
That's why
and
you
you
have
own
to pay
the
every year.
Yeah,
The
you
stickers
have
on
to
the back of your
renew.
car and whatnot.
Yeah.
Your license plate belongs to what is authorized and committed by the DMV.
Okay,
Same thing
so
with
then,
custom plates. You have to pay for it.
So
Okay.
then sort of like your passport or your ID, which is technically property of the U.S. government.
So you own it, You can do whatever you want with it, but no one's going to accuse you of stealing your passport if you run off with it. Finish your license.
But if the government requests it, you have the obligation to hand it into the government.
Yeah.
This is actually written on passports. So it's a similar situation, I suppose.
So Georgia also banned theirs. Due to all the uproar, Georgia has just announced that they are lifting the ban. So Georgia is now returning the Confederate license plates. So Georgia said, okay, I'll bet, never mind. Confederate license plate for everyone wants it.
They got it fair and square originally. Right. Why can't you just let these people, these rednecks, whatever, let them keep it, but just don't make new ones. I mean, that's the thing.
They're definitely not going to make new ones.
Exactly.
Georgia's making new ones again.
Oh.
So far, only Virginia is saying no. The last bit of news I have, again, before we discuss this, is Maryland. Maryland has just now passed a law saying that it's banning the Confederate flag license plates. So Maryland is now joining Virginia, banning them. Georgia just gave up and said you can have them again. All right. So now we're done with all the news articles. We're going to talk about our positions on this. So I think Tony has largely made his position clear. He has not been subtle about it. What do you think about the Confederate flag? Should the Confederate flag be legal? Should it be illegal? Should it be banned? Should they just stop producing it? What do you think?
Me? Oh, okay.
Well,
I think it shouldn't be on government land unless it's part of a museum exhibit. Other than that, it's like it shouldn't be hanging in on those state capitol. And if someone wants to have it on their car, it's like, hey, that's your right.
I think nuance is important here. Obviously, this whole movement defending the Confederate flags, this whole heritage not hate thing, is ridiculous. It is disingenuous to say that there is no link between the Confederacy and positions that we deem abhorrent today. I mean, the reason that the Confederacy was started was because the North was opposed to slavery and they wanted to keep it, and the balance was being broken.
It's the states' rights thing.
Exactly, but the states' rights thing is very important, and we will talk about it. But
in the secession, when they announced the Civil War, they say we are fighting for slavery.
Yeah, and the reason that they wanted to use states' rights is to use states' rights in order to support that institution.
They thought they had a states' rights to be right, to have slaves.
Exactly. So to wish to separate the two is very artificial. It is an adulterated history. So if you want to keep the Confederate flag, you need to address that part of its history.
I think this is an absolutely stupid argument because, first off, both sides are talking nonsense. The same guy I quoted earlier, who's saying that he's not going to give up his thing, his license plate, proceeds to say, if we give up our Confederate flag license plates, what's next? The government's going to ban wearing the colors blue or yellow on Tuesday? What the fuck is he talking about? That has nothing to do with anything. It's an asinine argument.
Who the hell also wears blue and yellow together, honestly? I mean, that's just a fashion faux pas.
Interestingly, the Union Army does.
Super!
Yeah. But that, I'm going to assume that was you impersonating the Union Army.
Yes.
And I'm going to assume that you are confused about
or one of the many
Army.
Frenchmen that he met over his European adventure.
But yeah, I think this whole thing is...
Now, what do you think? Are you in principle opposed to the banning of symbols?
It depends on the symbol.
I think that you should not...
No, if I see someone with a swastika, I myself, I'd be like, yeah, that should be bad. It's like, that represents Hitler and represents the Nazis.
When I was in college, one of my history classes, we had a student from class who continually came into class wearing full SS regalia. He was wearing the entire uniform. He had the boots, the signums on his shoulders, the skull and crossbones on his hat. He had the full thing. He came in every single day wearing them in class.
Was this a time traveler, maybe, instead?
No, our teacher, Dr. Richard Kazarian, asked him about it several times, and he said, I'm a big supporter of Hitler. I'm absolutely a neo-Nazi. We should totally be running this country and whatnot, and we will be one day sometime soon. We need to get all the used the N-word and kites for Jews and wetbacks and a whole series of these things. We need to get them out of our country. We need to kick them out.
We need to make America great again.
The pure blood and all that stuff. He gave the forum speech.
Sorry, I apologize. That was
That's okay.
completely uncalled for.
Yeah.
I complained about nuance and just did the whole argument that
This guy does seem a bit
I feel bad about what I just said.
So this guy was in our class one night. It was really, really weird, especially when we got to the section on World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And we're discussing World War II, and there's a member of the SS sitting several feet to our left.
Was he like saying, no, that didn't happen? That's not true.
He did actually make several dirty remarks. And
Mein
twice
Führer
he was
loved
kicked out of
tacos.
class. Twice he was kicked out of class. Twice
Oh, wow.
in college. The college professor said, get up and get in my class right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, so it's sometimes weird the fact that some of these symbols aren't outlawed, but I don't think they should be. For one reason, we now all know who the SS supporter is.
Yeah, exactly. We know who the racist is in the room, or the Jewish killer in the room.
There I agree with you. That guy is definitely a racist.
Yeah.
While it's quite unlikely that too many people will start to follow the SS anytime soon,
Yes.
there is a point in which propaganda for things which are just completely acceptable tends to advance them. And so there is an argument in favor of that. I'm not too much a fan of unbridled freedom of speech. I think there are some things that are wrong and should not be defended.
I think all these people who are saying that the Confederate flag should be banned, that it's wrong, that it's illegal, that all people who fly it are racist, are idiots. That's simply not true. A lot of people fly the Confederate flag because it actually does mean something for their families. I don't fly a Confederate flag, but I could. My great-great-grandfather fought for the Confederacy in the Civil War. I have news articles talking about him from his hometown, saying our great hero over here from our town is fighting in the Civil War. I know quite a bit about it. My brother does fly a Confederate flag because he's very proud of this. He's also half Mexican. So, you don't have to be white to fly the Confederate flag. Half brother. That is like he's half Mexican and I'm not. But yeah, so he flies a Confederate flag.
Does he support Trump?
He's not. He's very, very Democrat.
Oh, okay.
He's Democrat across the board.
He's just very proud of his family.
And so is his mother, who also has a Confederate flag in her house, also a hardcore Democrat. They live in Colorado. Yeah. So again, I could buy it. My favorite part of my history that I like to brag and talk about is my Irish side and my Norwegian side. So I don't feel the need to fly a Confederate flag, but I could, and I would be totally proud of it because my grandpa fought there and it's fucking awesome. Not because he was a Confederate, because my grandpa fought in the Civil War. I don't care what side he was fighting on. He fought in the friggin' Civil War. There's one of those. It's not like the World Wars where we have two. There's only one. It's unique.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and it's time for tidbits.
So anyway, Tony, how was Europe?
Europe was awesome. Yeah, it was like Europe is like a bizarro America.
Is that a good description, Alvaro? To clarify for these first episode listeners, Alvaro is from Spain.
Which is a country in Europe.
We sent him all the way over here just so he could talk on this podcast.
Yeah.
And I have just been left speechless. Tell me more about Bizarro America.
Well, they for example, over there, which I thought was really cool, that the toy firearms over there actually look like real firearms. But though they banned real guns over there. But here, yeah, but here they make the toys.
Fake guns?
Yeah.
Oh, toy guns.
Toy guns, yeah, but the toy guns look real. I mean, it was amazing. It's not like here in the United States where they have to be painted a bright color or have a cap on it, which was like amazing. It felt like America 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago. Because I remember growing up as a kid and they didn't do that with toy guns. the toy guns look real. I remember when I was a kid having like a 6-shooter like toy gun that actually looked like a real 6-shooter. Yeah. And so that was cool. My wife and I, we went to Edinburgh, Scotland for a couple days. We took a train to London. We were first class on the train, but then they canceled our train, which pissed us off. So we had to go on a second train, and we lost our first class, and we had to go and sit in like regular class, where as coach. That's it. And then we finally get to London. We do stuff around London, like go to Buckingham Palace. We went to Parliament. We went to Windsor Castle. The Parliament. Yeah.
And the Globe.
Oh, we went to the Globe Theatre also.
Pictures.
Yes, we went to the Globe Theatre and watched a Shakespeare play, which was really awesome.
Really? Which one did you watch?
It was Harry the something. I don't remember what. Henry VIII, maybe?
I was gonna say Harry, I don't know.
Henry VIII?
Oh no!
A new Shakespeare play.
I was asleep at the time.
Holy crap.
Before we left, I was like, I really want to go see a Shakespeare play. My wife booked it, okay, and then we were there, and we were still trying to adjust to the time change, right? And me and her were both dozing off in the first half. Like normal Shakespeare plays, you doze off during the first half, but then the second half is where everyone starts backstabbing each other and it gets interesting.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So after that play, whatever it was, it was good. It had some guy from Downton Abbey. My wife loves that show. I was like, oh look, it says some actor from Downton Abbey in the playbill. And she's like, oh, and I was like, I don't care. Anyways, we also went to the Harry Potter experience.
Ooh,
I really like that.
That was awesome. The Doctor Who experience. You really like Downton Abbey?
Downton Abbey is really good.
All
It's
it,
under a rock list.
all it is just under your rock list, Daryl.
Nobody
Verify.
understands that reference either, Adam.
Yeah, Adam keeps referencing that nobody else knows what he's on.
This isn't a podcast for inside jokes.
Yes.
Okay, to explain
You're
real
the one
quick,
making them all, Tony.
Adam claims that I haven't seen enough, like, you can't live without seeing this movies,
Mhm.
or played enough of those video games, read enough of those books, whatever. He doesn't think I'm cultured enough. So he made a list of all of these things, and it's called Ariel's Been Living Under a Rock.
Wow.
That's what he's referencing.
Oh, okay. The rock list. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. But wow. But anyway.
This cultured list includes the Scorpion King 3 or
Yes.
something like this.
Mhm.
So this is a relative term.
Why would anyone want to see Skeleton King 3?
I
Whatever.
haven't seen Scorpion King Part 1.
Yeah,
I've seen 0 of those movies.
okay.
Anyway,
Anyways, so we went to the Harry Potter experience. That was awesome. It's the actual sets from Harry Potter and from the movie. So it's cool walking in that big hall that they use in the movies, and the actual real tile too. Real tile, wood, whatever was wood. There's actual wood, and then the stucco's real stucco, and it's like wow. It's
I
really
want to
cool.
go so bad. I'm such a Harry Potter nerd.
Oh, then they also had the original train, which they added in there as well from the movies. So you got to go into each cockpit, each area that was used. Cockpit, sorry. Think of a plane. Each section of the train that they used in all the films. So they never used the same exact cabin, which is really, really interesting.
That is really cool.
Yeah, so you got to walk on the train. You got to see all the costumes and things like that, and that was really awesome. You can even have butterbeer. I had butterbeer. That was good stuff. It tasted like some caramel soda, but with some foam. It was still good. And then afterwards, we also went to the Doctor Who experience. That was fun. Actually, being able to stand next to actual Daleks that they use in the show, like on and off. Yes, Daleks.
Daleks?
They're called Daleks.
No, they're not.
They're not called Daleks?
There's no R in it.
Daleks?
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Whipped cream or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool Whip.
Cool.
Cool Whip. What else? Cool Whip. Anyways.
Do you have any cool?
So you're awesome.
Yes.
I mean, Bizarro America.
Yeah, and then also we went to Paris, France after we're done with London. We stayed 2 weeks in London, in the UK. So Paris, France. Going through the Eurotunnel was really cool. And then afterwards popping out, and then you see like countryside and stuff, and then you go into this other tunnel. Then all of a sudden you're in Paris. You come out and you see graffiti, trash all over the place, and it kind of was like a scary area. This was just at Gare du Nord, and this is the big train station there. Then once you get closer into the tourist parts of the city, it gets cleaner. Because I was thinking, and my wife was thinking, first thing going to Paris, because we went there for our first trip a couple years ago, just for like a day because of the cruise we were on. So we go through we thought it was pretty then. But just going from the outside in, it's like, wow, it's ugly on the outside, but really, really nice on the inside. Yes. And,
like so many of us.
Mm-hmm. And okay, that's my tidbit.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alvaro, you're next.
Nobody cares about Poland. I've been looking in the.
Moving on to Ariel.
Nobody cares
No,
about
I've been looking through every news source I can find on the internet, and I think there's elections tomorrow. Today is the 24th of October, and in some places they're announcing Polish elections for the 25th of October 2015, and it's not being covered anywhere. These are important elections. Poland is a big country in Europe. It is very important. It is right next to both Germany and Russia. It is a key point in all of these issues between the European Union and Russia. They're having the elections for prime minister. They already elected their president. They have a similar system to France or Portugal or Italy, where they have a president and a prime minister. The president is the head of state, and the prime minister as the head of the government. They already have the new president, which is a member of the. I don't know if you remember the whole head of the state, president, and the main ministers of the Polish government died in a plane crash some years ago.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that party was ousted from government because the most important members of that party were gone, and they've been recuperating.
Wasn't there like some rumors or something that the Russians might have been involved in that?
Well,
rumors,
yes,
yeah.
of course, because it's Poland and Russia. The tensions there are incredible, and they have a very long history. So there's no way not to have those rumors. Whether or not they were true is another story. But in any case, that party, Law and Justice, had a very hard time getting back its traction, and it has now. They've won the presidency, and they're gearing up to win the prime ministership. And particularly right now, when the influx of refugees are arriving in Europe, and this is a rather not entirely, well, yes, Eurosceptic. They're Eurosceptic in the sense that they're not so wholeheartedly in the European project. And they do not think that the government should have accepted the quota system for accepting refugees. They do not think it is in the best interests of Poland, and they're going to go against this. And they're also dead set against entering the euro, the common monetary area, the common currency, and all of this. And so this is going to be a very important election for Portugal and for Portugal. Well, yes, in a sense, for Europe and for Poland. And yet, not one news site is carrying it the day before the elections.
All right, thank you, Alvaro. Representing Poland. All right, up next we got Ariel Ayers, our student editor.
Okay, so Back to the Future Day just passed, so why not bring that up? So Back to the Future 2, set in 2015, that's where they go, and that day was October 21st, which was, I think, yesterday, the day before. I don't know what day it is anymore, it's 3 in the morning. So officially now, all of Back to the Future is now set in the past, which is really weird. So now when we watch it, it's not actually looking at the future anymore. It's, there's what they thought today would look like, and now it's totally not. I mean, I don't know, that's not true, because there are some things that they got right, and that's what my tidbit's going to be. So, one, the hoverboard thing. Lexus is actually connected to hoverboard. They have some sort of prototype thing. I guess they have like a magnetic track that they're trying to work with. And,
Those of you at home should see Alvaro's face right now.
Yeah, he looks mystified, but also irritated.
The hoverboard has been something that people have been working on for a very long time and had been deemed impossible. So I was just somewhat curious about how they did this.
Yeah,
but that concept.
Didn't they have to like put some like coolant or something in there too? That kind of like a no. I'm trying to
well, there were various models. The one area I was talking about, the magnetic track.
The magnetic
one that
different.
you would have to be in a specific area, which is magnetized and all of this.
Like a train.
Yeah, it'd be more like a train.
Hover train.
Yeah, exactly.
Which does exist.
Right. Okay, so that was one. Another one was the self-tying shoes that Marty puts on. They actually have that. Michael J. Fox was on, I don't remember what it is right now. He was on a show and he demonstrated for the audience, and he, hit a little button on the shoe and they tightened themselves just like they do in the movie. The Pepsi cans or bottles, that they have in the movie are now being released this year. Pepsi's doing like a future thing, but it looks like people are having trouble buying them.
Yeah, it's like, where are they? I want one. I go to this store.
New York Times or LA Times actually reproduced the front cover.
Yes, you told me that
Washington
the other
Post?
day, I think.
Washington Post.
Yeah, it was Washington Post.
Yeah, in the episode, in the movie, they look at the newspaper and it's the Washington Post. And on the day, the real Washington Post recreated the movie's cover.
Yeah. Which is pretty awesome. I think that's really, really cool. Let's see, what else? I have a list of things that they did. The Cubs winning the World Series, that actually is something that very, could happen. They're actually doing really well this year.
Yeah, it didn't happen. They lost.
Oh, okay. I missed that. So
they're not in the World
Series. They were in
Series.
contention.
Yeah, they were in contention.
Which is in itself, I'm told, something rare.
Yeah.
Yeah. They usually don't do it very well.
Did anybody see Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd did about a 1 minute clip? The two of them sitting in a diner.
Yes.
Discussing all the inventions that they talked about and what didn't happen.
They must have made a lot of money just leading up to this day.
Biometrics, so people are identified like when their eyes are scanned and stuff. But today, my iPhone, I can unlock my phone with my thumbprint. I just hold it on the little keypad. 3D, that's definitely a thing. The big flat screen TV and then talking through it. You can do Skype, you can do that on your cell phone, you can do it on a laptop. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I thought was super cool.
TV glasses, they invented TV glasses, but some people are mistaking it as Google Glass, though it's a TV. Even Bob Gale, the co-creator of Back to the Future, he was saying that you'll notice like a certain number on the glasses and things, and he's saying this, he says he'll take credit though for Google Glass if people want to give it to him. But he said,
royalties.
Yeah, he said, but it was just a television. That was another way they thought people might watch television one day. And answer your phone or see who's calling you via television. Which I remember that being big in the 90s. You can watch your TV and all of a sudden your phone rings.
Time travel? Have they rolled that?
No, I don't know.
No?
Oh, Adam knows about time travel or in the, Hulu coming out of, Cthulhu coming out of, in the CERN Collide or whatever.
CERN, yes.
Yes.
We'll talk about CERN some other time. There's some interesting stuff happening.
Anyways, that was my tidbit. Back to the future, nerd stuff. Anyway. Adam, what's your tidbit this week?
Alright, so, my tidbit. I did some research and I have some sources and whatnot. We can post it on the website. I actually did research. I actually composed this like I normally compose a topic because I don't really do the tidbits. Here's a bitch. Taylor Swift is a bitch.
Oh,
and
come on.
Everyone agrees.
What?
I disagree. Not everyone agrees.
Yeah, not everyone agrees.
I like Taylor Swift. I mean,
everyone here disagrees with
One
you.
of Tony's tidbits has been about a Taylor Swift concert.
Which is when we started this topic. Now, I have a whole bunch of sources from people who know her and have met her.
Can I pause you real quick?
Do you know these people?
For those that can't see Adam right now, he has the most smug ass look on his face.
I've been trying and everyone keeps denying all my information, so I found it all. Taylor Swift recently got trashed by Oprah and a number of other people after going on to being interviewed by Vanity Fair and listing a whole bunch of women who are going to hell and giving their reasons why they are going to hell, mainly because they have said less than nice things about Taylor Swift. Amy Poehler and Tina Fey have both been condemned to hell by Taylor Swift in interviews because they gently ribbed her at the Golden Globes. Jennifer Lawrence.
She doesn't like people who don't like her.
Jennifer Lawrence said that she doesn't like her music. And Taylor Swift said that she is going to hell and she will burn in hell. Or no, she said she's damned. She went after Michael J. Fox recently, saying that Michael J. Fox is going to go to hell. One of the reporters who interviewed her and spent some time with her ended up dropping the interview, saying that she is a total see you next Tuesday. That's his actual quote. See you next Tuesday. Would not do the interview with her. Taylor Swift has almost been charged with stalking charges. Because there have been 2 reported cases now of her having a crush on a guy. The guy dismisses her, so she writes songs about them, insulting them, then buys houses next to theirs across the country so she can be near them.
Okay, so she's the over-absorbed girlfriend or whatever that's called.
Then she goes on public record denying that she bought the house, saying it's all made-up stories, only to have reporters later find out total proof that she did buy the houses.
These don't seem that bad.
Taylor Swift frequently talks about the fact that she is not going to go into her love life, not going to talk about her love life, and then pays some of her best friends to go on and do interviews discussing her love life. So, her own quote, she can later say, I never said that. But still go on doing that. She has gotten in a lot of trouble and lost a lot of popularity after suing over 100 of her fans for running stores on Etsy that make reference to her, selling fan products. She has sued 3 search engines for playing her music that are charged and good of her. She only wants them to sell her entire album and nothing else. She has almost been sued by Harry Styles and some guy who this specific source only lists as Connor, who presumably has either a first or last name, for smearing them, besmirching them, insulting them.
I see this is very well researched.
And in media.
Are you stalking Taylor Swift, Adam?
Yeah, I think all this shows is Adam's incredible obsession with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time we've had this conversation. We were going to a movie. You remember that, Alvaro? When the 3 of us were going to a movie like last week or the week before, and Adam ranted for about 15 minutes on the way to the movie about how Taylor Swift.
That's the only reason I'm bringing this up. Because you guys keep defending Taylor Swift. She sounds like a horrible person.
But you're just these are not sources of proof. It's just a series of allegations, many of which don't mean anything.
People who have lost their income, who are now unemployed and have lost their businesses, lost their stores because Taylor Swift personally sued them for selling fan products. That is a horrible person. There are people now unemployed, cannot feed their families because of this woman. She is a bad person. Insults. Tina Fey says, I've met her, hung out with her.
Tina Fey. We were talking about Tina Fey.
Yes. So she sued a bunch of her fans for making merchandise on Etsy mildly related to her. She sued her guitar teacher, who taught her how to play music and sing, because he uses her name on her website saying, I taught Taylor Swift. So he is now out of a job. He lost his business because she sued her own mentor for using her name. She almost sued Apple.
That's not fantastic.
Oh, wasn't she didn't she do something with Apple where they were taking so much money off her album or something, and she wasn't getting
so she took it off iTunes? That was actually a fantastic thing to do.
She was complaining that they got a portion of her money.
Yeah.
And then she also almost sued again because they apologized, they fixed the problem, and she said she only wanted people to be able to buy her entire album, not song by song.
Oh.
She has been accused of, there's a whole group, there's 2 groups online, opposing groups who are after Taylor Swift for slut-shaming, for going after other women. She claims to be one of the #1 people speaking for feminists, and a whole lot of the feminists are saying, no, she's not.
Well, isn't that just normal for
Yeah,
any group? I identify with this group. Some people in that group don't identify with her, and so denounce her as not part of this group. That's political infighting. That's the thing that happens.
That's again, but it's mainly the lawsuits.
And sometimes certain girls like to try to be like, I'm better than you, I dress better than you, and vice versa. No, you don't. Oh yeah, well you dress like a slut. No, I know you dress up like a slut. No, don't slut shame me. Yeah.
Which is calling another woman a slut because of the way that she dresses, the way that she presents herself, and didn't agree with me.
She recently went in and she trademarked several phrases. It is now illegal to not pay Taylor Swift if you say "party like it's 1989" or say "this sick beat." She copyrighted the phrase "this sick beat." You can pay Taylor Swift if you say that.
Well, that's why this part will be edited out.
No, it won't. The phrase,
that's just like when what's her name? The Hilton chick tried to copyright the "That's Hot."
Oh yeah.
But that doesn't really fly.
Yeah.
And
then we never go out of style. She
copyrighted portions of her song. That does not seem odd.
Nice to meet you. Where have you been? Has been copyrighted by Taylor Swift. 1989 has been copyrighted by Taylor Swift. Her thing says you cannot use any of these phrases on typewriters, walking sticks, non-medical toiletries, Christmas stockings, knitting implements, pot holders, lanyards, aprons, whalebones, napkin holders.
Thing is, this costs
whips, harnesses, and saddlery.
They know,
back up.
patents cost a lot of money here.
Whalebones, whips, harnesses, and saddlery.
But the thing is, just really quick, the patents here. I've done research on patents and stuff. Where each category you have to pay a huge amount of money.
Yep.
To make sure your thing is copyright.
Well, that would probably not fly in court in a lot of those cases.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The fact of someone copyrighting parts of their songs or things that are identified with them is not odd and does not make someone a horrible person.
Except you generally don't do that for common phrases. There's actually a whole list of celebrities who have copyrighted stuff on here, talking about how you don't do that for things that people say regularly. When you come up with something new, you copyright it. When you have a basic phrase or the year 1989, you don't copyright it. Nicki Minaj.
Which is why it's a foolish thing to do, but once again, doesn't qualify you as a horrible person.
A bunch of her friends who are on tour with her just rebelled against her and released their contracts for traveling with her and appearing on stage. It says that a whole bunch of normal benign things. She has a dress code for her friends, saying that she's not allowed to be upstage. They have to stand a certain number of feet behind Taylor Swift at all times. And my favorite one is they are not to speak unless spoken to.
On stage.
Wow.
Or
That's crazy.
In her presence. On her tour bus, in her area.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The others, once again, someone who is making a living, having a career in the public eye, taking care of image is normal. Now, don't speak unless you're spoken to. That's really weird and kind of creepy.
There are some celebrities, like even Will Ferrell. My cousin was in one of the background people in a Will Ferrell movie, the one where he's a basketball player.
Nah.
And the manager there, the assistant director, was saying, don't approach Will Ferrell, don't even talk to Will Ferrell, don't even wave to Will Ferrell, because he doesn't like that.
Okay, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
Does it really?
And things like that.
Don't wave to Will Ferrell.
Yeah, and because they said that just wait till he comes up to you and talks to you. Don't go up and talk to him.
Clint Eastwood's daughter goes to our school. Our school.
Alvaro works at the school with us, by the way.
Yes. And we've all been told when Clint Eastwood comes in, don't run up to him. So everyone does it all the time and he hates it. He has trouble going outside because everyone tries to swarm him. So it's a regular, ordinary thing. When you're around somebody, they say, don't harass this person. If Clint Eastwood was telling his friends, or us working at the school even, who aren't his friends, don't talk to me unless I speak to you first. This must be, fuck you, sir.
Sir, see, you have to be polite.
Yeah, and then pinky them up.
He does seem like a good person.
In any case, I think really the only, of all this huge list of things that are actually concerning is the whole putting people out of a job thing, which would be important to look at. But really, not that big an issue.
The two
Taylor
big
Swift,
ones, the two big
I
ones,
think.
the two big ones putting people out of their job and telling her friends that they're not allowed to speak until spoken to in that list.
That's
is
just
weird.
weird.
Yeah,
That
But
sounds
once
like
a
again,
bad
friend.
not a huge issue.
The rest of them
Why
are
are we?
weird.
How long have we been talking about Taylor Swift? I think we've probably dedicated more time to this than any tidbit in the entire. It's approaching topic level. This is weird, Adam. This is really weird.
The rest of them are sources people.
You have more.
No,
Oh god.
that's it.
Yes, more sources.
I do not have more sources. We are done with that.
Yeah,
The other ones we have already talked about.
is Tina Fey gonna pop up again?
There are 40 people, such as Tina Fey, going after Taylor Swift is relevant in the fact that people who know her hate her.
We've spoken more about Taylor Swift than the elections in Poland.
Yeah.
What topic is more important? Seemingly, Taylor Swift and how Adam doesn't like her.
I do not.
Adam's gonna get a letter
Alright.
in the mail that he's been sued by Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
That is all for today.
Yes. That is all. I am Anthony DeFranco.
And coffee never goes out of style.
And that's Alvaro Gutierrez.
Yes.
I'm Adam Kincaid.
Ariel Ayers.
Grab a cup of coffee and tune in.